Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Sweet Spot. This is a kidcore, towny kind of place. Um, I think I was trying to get 3 stars, and I believe that I did. And now I'm cleaning up my mess. And let me just preface this by saying this is going to be split up into 2 parts because apparently I know no bounds and decided to if you hear that, that is my diva cat trying to come inside. One moment, please. Hello, ma'am. The diva has returned. Anyway, is she talking about herself or her cat? Um, anyway, as I was saying, I made way too many recordings all at one go and did not separate them the way that I probably should have. So this is just gonna be a like half an hour ish, just under part one, and then we're gonna have a part two. I just think a lot of this is kind of interesting. It's a little bit like a let's play, but not exactly. A lot of it is my path laying, and I find that kind of fun to watch sometimes. And this is just kind of, a super sped up version. Literally, the first clip of this is an hour long, and with a nice final 10 minutes, I had forgot to stop recording, and so my little poor little character just stands there doing nothing. I cut that out, thankfully, so you don't actually have to see that. It's fun to look back on this because like this island was a lot of fun for me to make. Sorry, I'm still sick. If you've watched the first episode of my Happy Home Paradise stuff, sorry, um, you'll know that I was unlucky enough to get sick after both my husband and my son got sick. Oh, and the diva is leaving because cats, right? Um, this island is so fun. I love this island. Um, I did save a dream address for it, even though I did not fully complete it. But so you can look back and you can see some of the roads. I think are probably my favorite, like paths or roads or whatever you want to call it. They're probably the best that I have ever done. They are my favorite. They obviously are not custom paths that I have made. Some of them are Crystal Cat. Some of them are just ones that I would randomly search up on the whatever the querying part is. Gosh, I'm so sorry if that's like killing your headphones or anything like that. I apologize. Um, I drank some tea, and this is some milk tea, and this is the thanks I get. It took me so long to figure out exactly what paths I wanted to use because I really wanted a warm path, but also not. I just want to like I really enjoy these paths, especially the Crystal Cat ones that I use because like you can use them wherever you want. And I really like the pictures on them, the what is it, the flower, and then there's like a cracked one and a full one, and there might even be one more cracked one. But these are just beautiful coats and they make such beautiful coats. Oh, and the 4 tile little daisy whatever it is. I freaking love daisies. Funny stupid little story. When I was younger, um, oh, if you hear my son, I'm sorry. Let me close the door because the diva has left. She'll be back. Don't worry. But funny little story from when I was younger. Outside my one of my houses that I lived at when I was probably maybe 10, there was like a sidewalk that ran along and went back to the back of the house, and there was like a mulch bed of different flowers back there, and there were beautiful daisies. And like we rented this house, so we were not the ones to plant these flowers. And I just remember the first time they all came up, I was so excited. I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, we have flowers. The place we had last had didn't even have a yard. So I was very, very excited to have like a big, beautiful yard. It was very hilly and, not a lot of neighbors. And yeah, if you know, you know how that feels. Um, but I was so excited about these daisies because I have always loved daisies. I thought they are I've always thought they're so beautiful. Um, until they were for the whole, and we had two dogs at the time, and we had a big lab, and we had a little I think we had a Welsh Corgi at the time, but later on we had an Australian Shepherd after the Corgi passed away. But I was so excited. So I was going, like, I was outside and I was like, oh my God, we gotta clean up the dog, business because it smells so bad out here. I kept telling that to my mom, and my mom's like, there is nothing out there. Like, it is clean, I can promise you. And so I just I couldn't let it go. And so my mom was starting to get a little irritated with me. And so I was out there one day. I was probably playing with my Barbies, or I probably had like a Barbie car out there. Do you remember the Polly Pockets with like the bigger one? They're like the size of your thumb, and they had like the silicone clothes. I had like a Jeep. I had a little car for them. I had two cars for them, I think. And I was probably playing with them out there, and I was just like, oh my God, this smells awful. And I thought, oh, I'll just smell this flower. That's kid brain. This is the perfect way to fix this. Little did I know what I was going to do. And maybe this could be like a just me thing, or just these particular flowers. I don't know if this is a normal thing or whatever breed they were. I couldn't even tell you. They were tall, they were, beautiful looking, had the white and the I might not hell, they might not even have been daisies. I don't know. I'm not a florist, I'm not a botanist, so I have no idea. But turns out the smell that smelled like dog business was these flowers that I absolutely loved. Oh my God, I was heartbroken. I'm still heartbroken. I have not picked daisies to this day because of that. I'll look at them, I will paint them, I will draw them, but I will not want them in my house. I will not want them, oh my God. I feel like such a ding dong. Like, and maybe my mom knew this the whole time, and she was just like, "Man, my kid's a dummy," like, my mom is nice enough to never actually tell me that, but um, so like, imagine like 10-year-old you, is just like, "Oh my God, these are so beautiful," you're outside playing, with your imaginary friends or whatever, or playing with your Barbies, playing with your Hot Wheels or something. I don't know, and you're just like this life altering thing happens, and you just feel like such a dummy. I feel like a dummy even now. Like my cheeks are getting red. I'm embarrassed. I'm just sharing with people so that they know the quality of human they're watching right now. Um, anyway, uh, the funniest thing too, and this is just like a silly little aside. But the longest time in my life, I always said that white was my favorite color, even though technically white is not a color, I know. But I've just always loved the pristineness of white. Especially being an artist, that can be a hard thing. Like when you paint and you have a blank piece of paper, or even when you're a writer, having a blank piece of paper or blank white screen, for the most part, that's what color people work on. That is such a like intimidating thing. But like I have the Switch OLED now, and it's all white. My husband bought me like these beautiful Animal Crossing stickers to put all over it because he knows that like my sketchbook, I have black sketchbooks, and I put stickers all over them. I put stickers all over my old laptop, which was a black laptop. And so now when I get white things, apparently, I I can't I can't put stuff on them. There's nothing on my white OLED at all. And we have a Mac. And so like parts of the Mac are white too, and I'm like, "Oh God, they're getting dirty." Just like what a doofus. Anyway, that's just me being. Oh, the TV's got coming again. Hold on, sorry. Goodness gracious, ma'am. You want to come up here? Come. Hello. You can hear her jingling. Um, can you hear her purring? I hope you can. She actually has not felt well for the past, well, basically since I got sick. Right before I got sick, um, she started. Oh, she's sniffing the microphone. So there you go. This is Peyton, by the way. Uh, but hey baby. She started walking funny and holding one of her paws up, and I didn't really understand what was going on. I thought maybe she had jumped And my son had been playing with her a lot. Like they would chase each other around the house and stuff.
Sorry,
And
there was
excuse
a
me, ma'am.
crisis of a phone
Nope,
line.
that's my. Anyway, she was holding up her one paw and she was kind of limping and she was acting really strange. Then the next day, she was holding up a whole different paw, and she was still limping. At first, it was her back left paw, and then the next day it was her front right paw, or front left paw. And so, like, I was kind of getting, I was like, "Oh, you faker, what are you doing, silly cat?" Then the next day, she like wouldn't stand up, and there's no this just not a warning, but just to let you all know, no, there's obviously a good outcome, so don't worry too much. Um, she she wouldn't stop like like when a cat kind of rolls over, they do it with some grace. They don't just plop down. They don't just like fall over to the side or anything like that. And all of a sudden, that wasn't there. She would just kind of plop to her side. And she's not like that. She's, like I said, she's a diva. So she's like, think of like the snooty villager. That is my cat. Um, Pearl actually looks a lot like my cat. Um, but anyway, so this was really strange for my cat. She wasn't, and I don't know. This is hard for me to like talk about because it really made me upset. I cried a couple times about this because it really upset me. Um, but she would be laying in our computer chair, which has a blanket very similar to the one I have on my bed, which she always sleeps on, and she always sleeps with me every night. And she would be laying in it, but she would be laying in it upside down with her legs in the air, and that's not how she sleeps. She sleeps in a little, bun. You know what I mean? Like a little rolled up bun. This is how I see her. And so this was kind of weird for me. And I kept noticing she kept doing it. And she kind of had her head tilted. And so, like, I know Googling things is not a smart thing to do, but I don't know anything about cats. I'm not a veterinarian. I am not in any which way qualified to know anything about this. So oh, you just missed the blip of me standing there for an hour. Anyway, she just wouldn't move during the day, and so I was getting really, ma'am, can you just? She's on the back of my computer chair now, and she's trying to get down. Here, say hello to your audience. Thank you, thank you. But she wouldn't really move, which is really strange for her. And she was starting to not clean herself, which she does all the time. She's always primping and priming and just must be in the best fashion. And so this was really starting to worry me. And then, like she had the first day of it, she had slept in bed with me. She sleeps, in my legs when I sleep. The next day, she didn't. She slept on the chair. I was like, okay, that's fine. She'll do that every so often. And then the next day, she was under the bed the whole day. And she is not a cat that is under the bed. That's just not how she works. She never under the bed. And so that just that kind of hit like something's up. The limping was kind of weird, and like I said, she kept switching feet, so that was really weird too. And so I got worried. I was looking stuff up, and you know I learned of this thing called ataxia. I believe ATAXIA. I believe it's called. This is like Pet MD. So like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm not friends with a professional. Um, and this happened within like 2 or 3 days. And so I learned about it, and they're like, oh, head tilting, blah, blah, blah. And there's like three types of it that they'll get. There's like cerebral, and then there's two other ones that I can't remember them at the time, but they're not fun things. But so I kept watching her, and she just started moving less and less and less. And if she did, she looked like she was walking on her like her wrists. If you can think about how like if you invert your hand to shield it and like walk on your yeah, or maybe walking on her knuckles. I guess that would maybe be the equivalent for a cat. But this made me really upset, so it makes me upset to talk about it. But like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's not. Um, it didn't end horribly or anything like that. But there was a few days where she just wouldn't move, and so like I would have to climb under the bed, help her go potty, help her, like get to the potty, make sure she got her food, and then I'd have to like carry her back, and she would make her way under the bed again. So that's hard for any cat parent, or any parent, obviously anybody who has someone they love is very hard to see something like that happen. But but yeah, so that's what I had to deal with this past couple days, as well as being on top of it being sick. So there was a few tears shed over it, but we're all okay now. It's all good now. she's she's already like she's like a little duckling. She follows me around everywhere I go all the time, and so she's doing that again. When I cook, she'll sit on the mat by my feet and just look up at me all the time. And so we're back to that. So even though I sound like I'm about to cry, which I almost am, we're good. We're good. She's good. Um, it just, I mean, I know some people will be like, why didn't you just take her to the vet? But I was actually really sick, and my husband, he was not home. Like he was, working as well, and I was watching my son, so I didn't have a way to do that. So thank God. Thank whoever is listening and that helped me out. Thank you for helping me get better, helping my cat get better. I mean, I know that's a silly thing to, be so thankful for to some people, but to me, it's something that really mattered, and she really matters to me. Um, she's like an emotional support cat, even though she is a butthead. Let me tell you. I mean, it's all my own fault, obviously. I think we got her a little too early. Someone had found her, um, or had found her mother, and we had kind of been looking for a cat. We'd almost gotten a couple different kittens. I'd almost gotten a white kitten. It just never felt right. And then a good friend of mine was like, "Hey, these people have a cat. They have some black cats, which are my favorite." Um, and she's like, why don't you reach out to them? And so I reached out to them, and she's a very knowledgeable person with animals. She's actually a rescuer. Um, but anyway, long story short, we got our cat. She is a calico. She is all freaking sass. Like I said, I call her diva, and it is not, an exaggeration by any means. She is sass personified or catified, whatever you want to call it. She so we got her at 6 weeks old. Her birthday is coming up soon because I think we got her in July, maybe. I'm not sure exactly when we got her, but God, she was so tiny when we got her. She like fit in my hand. We drove home. My husband and me went to go get her, and my parents were here watching our son. And we came back with this little tiny, like we had a carrier and stuff, and we're like, ugh. And I've had animals my whole life, so I knew like the barest of how to take care of animals. Not the barest, but I knew enough to take care of her. But I'd never like it'd been a really long time since I'd had a kitten. And oh my god, she grew so fast. I swear she was a kitten for like a week, and then she was like a teenage cat. And I just, oh my goodness, it's been a lot of fun. And she's a butthead. You play with her ever, she will bite you. Well, she bites me. I have more scars on my body from this cat than any of my years playing any sports whatsoever. Anyway, but yeah, she's our little diva. She's our baby. My husband's like not a cat person. He says he's not a cat person, and but you can tell he loves her too in his own way, which is adorable, especially from like a self-proclaimed dog person. We tried to have a dog. That's just I'm not a dog person. It's not. I need something that doesn't need me all the time. I mean, I have a son, so like my 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 wherewithal is limited as it is. Um, but she's a great cat. She loves my son. Like she likes to whenever he takes a bath, she will sit on the side, and she has done this since she was a kitten. She will sit on the side and like watch him and like come back a couple different times to like check on him and see what's going on. Um, she likes water for some reason. Like she won't really she like our bathtub or the sink in our bathroom in my son's bathroom drips. And so she she just always like you'll find her later in the day and her head will be wet. And you're like, "Really?" She'll play in his tub when he's not in it. She's ridiculous. like I said, she's one of a kind. I'm sure all cats are, but all pets are. But she's a nut. I'm just so happy she's okay. It was very tough on me for a little while there. Um, but yeah, it's 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 good to be not sick. It's good for her to not be sick. That makes me very happy. Um, I'm just gonna have to take one quick second, and I'll be right back. You hear me clicking is because my computer is being a butthole. Okay. Anyway, we're back now, and if you hear like a hissing or something, my computer is having a time, and I apologize. Um, but anyway, we're all good. I hope everybody else is doing well. I hope you're all happy and healthy. I'd love to know how you all are, what you all are up to. Let me know about your pets. I would love to know about your pets. I have had way too many animals in my life. My mother and my grandmother are both animal people, like with capital letters, animal people. So I have grown up with all of it forever. I've had dogs, I've had cats, I've had guinea pigs, mice, I've had birds, I've had a plethora of fish. My grandmother has horses, rabbits, more cats, more dogs, guinea pigs. We've had it all. um, I, I love animals. I probably won't ever have a bird again because that's a lot more work than I have the mental faculties for. The mice I had ended up in disaster because they're like, oh, they're both female mice. Guess what? They were not. I named them Dharma and Greg. If that like rings true to anybody, like does anybody know Dharma and Greg? Like the guy from oh gosh, what was it? Crap. Criminal Minds. The guy from Criminal Minds, and I forget what else Dharma's been in. She's been in some other things, but I don't think she really acts as much anymore. Maybe I'm just totally missing it. I don't watch cable TV, so I have absolutely no idea. But that was a show back then. But I named him Dharma and Greg because the blonde one turned out to be a boy, and the black one that I had, well, it was like gray, but turned out to be a woman or a female um, mouse, and we had babies, and that was horrible, like horrible, just horrible, horrible. Just don't do it. I would, and I was like a little kid at the time. By the way, this is not like adult me. This was like 10-year-old me. Um, me telling that Daisy story. I don't remember if it was is it the beginning of this episode maybe, but like that was around the same time, except during the winter. But guinea pigs, on the other hand, we had many, many guinea pigs. We would adopt them, and we would always buy them from. There was like this really crappy pet store, and they did not know how to take care of their animals, so we would always try to, get what we could at the time. And this is like early 2000s, so a lot of things we know now was not something we knew then. So just take everything with like that grain of salt. That practices and stuff like that are very different now, and we know what the bad things are now. Anyway, but yeah, I loved guinea pigs. Our first one we ever had was this little black guinea pig named Charlie, and he was the best. He was the best guinea pig that we ever had. Well, my mom had a Charlie when she was younger, and so she got me a Charlie when I was about 10, and he was the best. I taught him how to go up and down stairs when he was younger. He was our letter opener. We didn't let him eat any of it, obviously. My mom would always make fresh salads and different stuff like that for him. Um, he was just the best. He was so great. Except he was epileptic, so that eventually took a very big toll on him. My personal guinea pig was Victoria. She was white and had she kind of looked calico, just she didn't have the black. Um, she was a priss as well, so maybe it's me who brings these types of things. Um, we had her. We had Penelope. She was like that crater fur. I don't know what the actual name is. This is like 10-year-old me that came. That's what I called it. She was white and she had that reddy brown color, and she had crater fur, and she was the one that was with us the longest, or she was the last guinea pig that we had, and my mom loved her. She was beautiful. We had Bob. He was someone that we rescued. The people that had him, his original name was Oreo because he was black and white, and the people who had him did not had no real idea how to take care of a guinea pig. They didn't know that his nails needed to be trimmed. They did not know that a wire floor cage was not good for his feet. Um, so we got him out of all of that. We got him the biggest cage we could possibly get. And the funniest thing was, I had this beautiful Barbie growing up who it was an African American Barbie and had like beautiful twisted hair, and I loved this Barbie, and so I would play with it a lot with my other ones. And he he decided that I called it his girlfriend because he decided that that was his Barbie, and that was I just think that was the funniest thing in the world. Um, because he had a very good long life after that, and he was a big guinea pig. He was like the size of a cat. We had Dexter, who always had problems with his eyes. We had Molly, who was like this ash brown. She was a big guinea pig. She's beautiful too. But Dexter, he was taken away from his mother too early, and he was just the size of my palm. But all right, so this is the end of. Sorry, this came up on me real quick. This is the end of the part one of episode 3 of Sweet Spot, and so I will continue talking about guinea pigs hopefully in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.